Hi, welcome to the basic pod tutorial video. This pod you'll be making quite a lot of, so this is a really important tutorial to watch. Also, it's the most basic of the different types of pods, and it gives you a good sort of starting point to practice with. Again, very important because there's going to be 50 of these approximately to a basic set. So straight to it. If I just pull across here. This is actually the basic pod sheet. You see there I've already sort of cut one of these out. You'll get 5 different types of pod, or should I say you'll get 5 pods to a sheet, of which there's these 2 which are the same, and you've then got some different sort of types across here, variations as it were. So you've got this basic pod sheet. You're going to need you're going to need this one here, which is your base sheet. This has got all your bases which you're going to use for all the basic pods. You're also going to need some side supports. These are your side support sheets, and you're also going to need, for a basic pod, I'll just grab this one, you're going to need some internal supports as well. Okay, so starting at the beginning, just move this out of the way. This one's already come out, or you can see I've simply just scalpeled out this basic pod here. So we'll pop that one there. Okay, so these are all the components that I need to do the basic pod. I've got a couple of little things that I need to do. I've scalpeled everything out, but there are a couple of little adjustments that I need to make. First of all, I need to bevel across this edge here, so on the base, and it says here, just here where you need to bevel, so I need to get a little bevel on there. So I'm going to do that first of all. Okay, that gives me a nice little bevel just here and here, which lines up with this angle here. Doesn't have to be perfect here, as long as there's a bit of a bevel to stop this part here from sticking out too much. Okay, so that's the first bit of preparation. The second bit of preparation is I've got to actually score this so that it can be folded down around the shape. So I'm going to do that now very quickly as well. Okay, that's the overscores done. I'm going to do the underscores now by nipping through here and turning it over. Okay, so that's it scored out. Just going to bend it through. Cool, so that's that all bent out and ready to go. Smashing. So, moving that to one side for a moment, we're going to need the two pieces with the peg slots in there, and we're going to need to glue them on here. Like so. I'm going to use the edging technique for this particular gluing. Run the glue down, not quite on its side. Remembering not to actually glue onto the actual bevel side. And I'm just going to literally pop these bits on the side. That should be quite good. And I'm going to hold that. Now I'll try and keep that as vertical as possible. I'll move the base every now and again, just in case there's a bit of glue on the underside. I don't want it to get stuck to the table. And then I'll put a little bit of pressure on the base as well to make sure, at these sides, to make sure that it's actually flat down. Move it again, I think that's okay. There we go. And if we check underneath, that's a lovely flat surface there. That was pretty simple. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, normally I'd work in like a set of maybe 5 at a time, so I'd put that to one side and let these dry a little bit. As they dry, sometimes they tend to move in a little bit, but I'm just going to put this together straight now, and I'm going to glue in these 2 parts here. These parts are to stop the pegs that you put in here actually popping through too far and getting lost inside. But in addition to that, they actually add a little bit of extra support. But you don't have to use that if you're deciding to go for this without the peg, without using the peg connectors, which again is perfectly fine. Then you won't need to do these. Would save you a little bit of time putting it all together. And there's a little mark along here showing you exactly where you need to glue in these internal supports as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just do those. And with these, when you're gluing on here, you don't need to edge glue these, and you can use as much glue as you like within reason, because it's all going to be hidden inside. And that's it. That's your basic pod side structure, the real sort of skeleton, where it gets its strength from. That's done. So the next thing, this is still a little bit wet, but I'm going to work with it anyway. I'd normally, like I say, do 5 of these, and then by the time I get to glue on the first piece over the top, everything will be fine. It should be nicely dry, but I'm going to go ahead and do this like this anyway. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to basically just glue this onto the top of here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it on carefully and just make sure the whole thing fits nicely, which, having a look at that, it looks like it does. Okay, excellent. Pop that back down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue one side first and pop it on, and again normally let it dry for a bit, and then we're going to glue the other side. Okay, so I'm going to use the edging glue technique here again, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to edge on the inside here, across the top first, and all on the edge here, and across the bottom. And then I'm going to pop some glue here as well so that these don't move inside, but I'm not really bothered about being careful with here, and I'm just going to splodge some glue, and it doesn't matter if it gets all of it or not, because again it's going to be completely hidden inside. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so the glue's on. I'm going to work kind of quickly here. Just make sure this is level. Still a little bit wet when I was doing it, so I've knocked it out. And I'm going to very carefully pop the pod on. Now I'm going to do the tops, and I'm going to line the tops up first. So I'm actually going to put one edge down first, then the other, and I'll use my finger probably to get this in line. So I'll pop this piece on first here. Okay, and holding that here with this finger, I'm going to pull this out and make sure that this lines up with the edge here. And here. So this is at the edge here, and it's at the edge here as well, not too far out. And then all I'm going to do now is very carefully, kind of back to front here, I'm going to just pop this down very carefully, trying to make sure that it lines up. It should kind of self-level at the bottom, but we're going to check the level in a second anyway. good squeeze. That looks pretty good. Now I've got a tiny little bead here, so I'm actually just going to use my finger and just pull that away. It doesn't matter if it goes onto this side bit, because these bits are never seen. Give my finger a good rub, make sure that glue fully comes up before it comes off my hand before I actually touch any of this image. That's fine. Can't really see any other beads. That's it. Sometimes you just have to push this bottom piece down a few times to make sure that it goes right down to the floor. That'll look nice when it lines up with the tiles. Okay, now I've got that on, I'm going to check the level. Really important this, because if they're all different levels, you're going to have all different gaps when you put this through. Now they should be self-leveling, and actually this one looks to be absolutely smack on, which is fantastic. Okay, what you can do if it is slightly out of level, you can actually just force it one way a little bit. It'll spring back, so you kind of over force it and it'll spring back, and that normally adjusts the level, and then as it dries it will actually dry on level. But that is fantastic. I'm using the edge of this ruler here for leveling. You can just use a set square. This is fine for me. Yep, fantastic. Okay, so that's level. I'd normally leave that to dry for a bit. What's actually going to happen is I'm just going to, go straight and just glue this straight down again now. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. I'm just going to pull this up a little bit and just glue straight on here. So edging first. That's it, that's done. And as you can see, this one actually has gone at a little bit of an angle. Now I could, if I wanted to, while it's still wet, just pop in there and correct that, like so. It wouldn't be the end of the world, this one as well slightly. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't, as long as there's just, something in there to stop the internal peg from going astray, as it were. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to pop this one down. That's it. That is the finished pod. This is going to comprise, the bulk of your interiors. So one down, approximately 49 to go. Yeah, that's it. All done and dusted. Nice and simple. On to the next tutorial video. Thanks very much for watching. Happy gaming.